Okay. All right, let me do a spiritual mind treatment. Okay, so this word is being spoken for each one. And if there is anyone or any place on this planet that you would like to have included, just think of their name now and know that this word is also for them. Okay. Recognizing that there is a universe filled with amazing manifestations and with an awareness of so much that cannot be seen in this universe being present. It's realized that clearly there is an intelligence that is everywhere present, and that it knows how to create a universe. It knows how to create everything that is in this universe. It knows how to create all of the unseen forces and elements that are in this universe. It knows how to create everything with relationship with each other so that the entire universe is a complete whole, a one, an organism that is what it is because of its infinite expression and variety. And this infinite intelligence that knows all this and knows how to do all this and can do all this and is doing all this is also creating each one. And each one being a spirit, a soul, an essence, a vitality, a knower. Each one being this knower has gathered around themselves a whole universe of expression, which includes an earthly body as well as a home and a community and financial systems and government systems and neighborhood systems, and all of that which each one dwells within is also a complete universe of intelligence that knows everything and is organizing everything in harmony and in peace and in a way that each individual's personalized universe is in harmony with everyone else's, and everyone's personal universes are in harmony with the infinite universes of all. This is the intelligence that is at work. Clearly, this intelligence, this knowing, this consciousness is far beyond any human mental capacity could ever imagine. And for this, each one is grateful. Because each one doesn't have to build their own world, their own universe. Each one does not have to direct all of the details and all of the affairs. Each one has all of this created by an infinite intelligence, and yet within that activity of creation of that infinite intelligence, each one has the authority to claim the qualities that he or she desires to experience while dwelling in that personal world that is theirs. And so each one releases all need to control and fix and make it work. So any and all belief that one is completely and totally responsible for all that happens in their world is erased, evaporated, and vanished. All attendant blame and shame, as well as a belief that one is bad or could be bad, that one can make mistakes, that mistakes are bad. It is all by this word erased, vanished, and gone. All belief that any particular choice is the ultimate choice and can somehow completely ruin, destroy one's experience of life forever. All belief in hell or any sort of permanent state of pain, agony, suffering is all by this word erased, evaporated, and vanished. This infinite intelligence creating this universe does not create such permanent conditions. And its intention and its know-how and its ability is always serving to create a harmonious interaction of itself within itself. And so that which is universally true is also the intention of the divine for each one. The divine desires each one to live and thrive and prosper in happy and harmonious, peaceful and wonderful ways, and is creating an environment for each one in which this is possible. The truth is, the divine desires each one to love their experience of living completely as a human being with human being requirements. All of this is known by this infinite intelligence, and it creates an environment for each one that takes this all into account. And so it's naturally, normally, continuously, and without any work on any individual's part, it's creating it. That is what the divine provides, and what each one is given in this natural, harmonious environment that is created by this infinite mind. Each one is given choice: where to go, what to do, what to express, and what divine qualities each one desires to experience, and how much of them. Because every divine quality is infinite, there is no end to how much of these qualities one might express. And so these qualities of life and vitality, experienced as health, is infinite. It's provided. Each one gets to choose how much health and vitality of this life he or she desires to experience and express and embody. It is love, infinite love, unconditional, forgiving, compassionate, tender, kind, sweet, generous, overflowing. It is each one's choice how much of this love that each one accepts to receive and feel and experience and express for themselves in their universe. And each one is expanding and experiencing this love in great and wonderful ways. And so any negative feelings of, ooh, I shouldn't have done that, or I'm not loved, or any belief that because one might not be feeling the love, that it's not there, it's all erased, evaporated, and vanished. Each one is now accepting more love than ever before, and each one is accepting more love than just the emotion experience of love. Each one is experiencing the love that is providing each one with everything that is required or desired to enjoy their lives completely. And so each one is seeing with the light of the divine, infinite possibilities yet to be. And so each one is with crystal clarity seeing the possibilities that are available to them, that this life is eternal, it is self-existent, and it creates, and there is no end to what can be created. That growing, prospering quality of life finds a way to have a sunflower grow through the rocks. And so no matter what one's personal opinions might believe, or situation or circumstances, that loving life within is showing to each one the infinite possibilities yet to be for them. And there is never an end to it. In all of this, the divine quality of power is recognized. And so all fear of exercising or directing this power, all belief that, ooh, I shouldn't tell God what to do, all belief in directing this power is somehow telling God what to do, all belief that God might be mad at what one might direct about oneself to do, any particular upbringing that has trained one to withhold oneself from exercising their spiritual authority. It's all by this word. Whew, erased, evaporated, vanished. Each one is free of all that nonsense and is able to choose and direct this power with authority, with confidence, and with peace of mind and circumstance, with a simple acceptance, as that young child accepts holding the adult's loving hand. Each one accepts that support of that infinite power and directs it for good in his or her world and universe. Life, love, light, power brings the quality of peace, that knowing that all is well, no matter what is going on, all is well, all is well, all is well. Any unconscious or conscious agreement with the world's or good loved ones' opinions and beliefs that, oh, this is bad and this is horrible, and all that sort of conversation is all by this word erased, evaporated, vanished. No matter what someone has predicted, no matter what the verdict has been, no matter what anyone in this universe has said, this is the way it is, each one is able to have that freedom to say, no, not for me. For me, I choose peace, goodness, all is well, all the time. And so each one is growing in that acceptance of peace and seeing that peace flower in a peaceful universe in which each one dwells. This is harmony. This is an expression of infinite beauty. And each one is looking more beautiful than ever before. Why not? And with all this, there is joy. That joy that does not depend upon any condition. The joy that knows one always has more of all of the divine qualities and that there is no end to how they can be expressed and experienced. So this is the truth. This is the truth of each one. I am grateful that this is the truth. So I release this word to the law, glad it's done, and it is done, and so it is. And I really moved. I reached out to touch the podium when I couldn't feel it. It was like, Karen, don't move, because you don't know where you are. All right, good. So we've got a couple people joining us. Oh, Margit is here from Mexico. Glad you made it. Treatment works. Okay, good. All right, so let's move forward in our service. Hot Diggity Dog Day and Reverend Rich.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
And so we take this moment to connect with our heart and to open up our hands and our minds and our hearts and our worlds to receive some more good than we've ever received so far. And so that's available to us right here and right now. And whatever brought us here this day, set an intention to receive guidance, the answer, healing, a revelation of truth that sets you free. And it's all here, part of the divine package in creating our meeting this day. So let's open to it, know it's there. Yes, and so it is.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. I'm Stefanie Lachenauer, and I am a licensed practitioner here at CSL Princeton. And so we are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of science of mind for the benefit of ourselves and the world. And so we have a few announcements. So this Wednesday there is no class, but you can prepare for next class by practicing patience, because the topic next week is about patience. And so that class is Wednesday at 7:30 to like 8-ish. And if you're interested in joining, you can find information on our Facebook page or on our website, cslprinceton.org. And next week, we will be upstairs with Reverend Janice, and the topic is going to be, easy does it. Easy does it. So next week, upstairs, easy does it. But do it. And today is Hot Diggity Dog Day, and so we are going to have some hot dogs and all sorts of delicious treats and food. And so if you're at home watching us, come and join us. We have so many delicious things, and come join us in fellowship and community so we can spend some time together. And so, welcome to our service today. Welcome to this moment. So as I was thinking about what I was going to say last night, which often happens, and I'm laying in bed and I'm at that sweet spot, just when you're falling asleep. Like your whole body relaxes and just like, oh, here it comes. And then I hear, and I wake up and I'm like, no, no. I think there's a creature in my wall. There is an unwanted, probably adorable, but I do not want you in my house creature. I am cohabitating with a creature in my wall, and I can hear it just like, and it's right above my head. It's right above my head, so now I have to turn the lights on because I'm like, it's right. It's like there's just a little thin wall that's separating me from this thing, and so now I can't sleep, because I don't know about you, but I can't sleep when my whole body is like this, right? I can feel every muscle is tense, and all I want is to like, this is not my reality. This is not happening right now. I'm going to go back to sleep, and it's going to be fine. And so I'm laying in bed, and all I can do is think about, no, I'm not sharing my house with a mouse. No. And then I realized, I have a choice. I can accept that this is the reality just right now, in this moment, just right now, because I can't do anything about it. Or I can keep resisting it, which is going to make it persist. It's going to persist, this feeling of now I'm anxious and angry and like all sorts of emotions, disgusted. So I laid in bed a moment and I was like, all right, fine, you can be here for right now, but tomorrow, I'm going to deal with that. Tomorrow that they're not going to be there. So what I invite you to do is to consider right now what you're bringing in this moment. What's here? Can you just check in to see what that is? What are you resisting? What are you pushing away? Because the more that we push, the stronger that becomes. We don't have to accept it and keep it here, but just know that it's there. You can let that go. And then what do we want to welcome in? Maybe a feeling of peace, maybe harmony. And let's be open to that, because the more that we resist, the more that we're actually clinging to that and giving that more power. So let's make space today for whatever it is that we'd like to bring in, so we can really hear what's meant for us to hear today in our service. Thank you.
I am as God created me, the love and the light and the glory. I am as God created me, the love, the light and the glory. The love, the light and glory. The love, the light and the glory. The love, the light and the glory. I am. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. I am as God created me. The love, the light, and the glory. I am as God created me. The love, the light, and the glory. Now this is a round.
Oh, yeah.
And the round would actually start here. Some people would sing what I just sang, I am as God created me, and I would sing the love, the light, and the glory. And if it all works out, we all end up on I am. So I don't know if you guys want to try it.
So which one do we sing?
You, okay, I'm going to sing the I am as God created me, la 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 la. And
I'll sing the love, the light,
there's
and
two
the
lines of
glory.
that. And when I do the love, the light, and the glory, you start singing I am as God created
Okay.
me. All right? We'll try it. They did this at a Sillamar, if you remember.
Yes, we've done it here too.
We've done it here, but never successful. It wasn't successful at Sillamar either.
We'll do it today.
I am as God created me, the love, the light, and the glory. I am as God created me, the love, the light, and the glory.
I am as God created
The love, the
me.
light, and the glory.
The love, the light, and the glory. I am as God created me. The love, the light, and the glory.
Well, it's not working out, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's great.
I am as God created me.
The love, the light, and the glory. No. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. I am. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. The love, the light, and the glory. I am. I am as God created me. The love, the light, and the glory.
We'll learn.
Everybody has a song sheet.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This morning, I am going to read a long treatment from Susan Shumsky, DD. It's from a book called Instant Healing. And this is sort of like, this is from chapter 14, which is about making life a success. And it's sort of like an all-inclusive treatment because it's for optimizing opportunities. First, the reading goes, there is only one thing blocking your success, your own mind. When you create obstacles with self-sabotaging thoughts, you get in your own way. Materialization of success is entirely determined by how you accept success. If you welcome it with open heart and mind, it comes effortlessly. If, on the other hand, you unconsciously fight success, your fuzzy intention produces fuzzy results. So I'm going to read this treatment, and it is really a treatment because she ends everything with "and so it is." So she is definitely aligned with the teachings. Whenever I say I am, I want you to claim it and say within yourself, I am. So I am reading this in the first person, but it is for everyone here, and I want you to claim your I am when I say it. This treatment is for each one here, each one listening, and for myself. For the perfect optimization of all favorable circumstances and opportunities, or better, in my life now. I now recognize there is one power and one presence at work in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent and omniscient. God is the source of everything in the universe, the creator of all life and the giver of all boons. God is the generator of all opportunity, synchronicity, serendipity, good luck, and good fortune. God is perfection everywhere now. God is perfection here now. I am now one with, merged with, aligned with, and the same as God. In God I breathe, move, and have my being. I am the one power and presence, the source of all good. I am oneness and wholeness. Within me lies the source of all boons, all opportunity, synchronicity, serendipity, good luck, and good fortune. I am perfection everywhere now. I am perfection here now. I now therefore know and claim for each one here, each one listening, and for myself, the perfect optimization of all favorable circumstances and opportunities, or better, in my life now. I now release from my mind and any and all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs that no longer serve me, whether known or unknown, conscious or unconscious. My mind is now filled with and attuned to God's mind. I now release from my mind any and all thoughts of hesitation, missed opportunities, procrastination, pessimism, laziness, self-destruction, self-sabotage, fear of the unknown, apathy, worry, doubt, mistrust, limitation, rejection, failure, disharmony, and misfortune. They are now gone. They are burned in the fire of God's love. I am now permeated with powerful, positive, beautiful thoughts and emotions of certainty, decisiveness, willingness, action, drive, ambition, energy, performance, excellence, determination, motivation, achievement, accomplishment, success, optimization, self-empowerment, self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, life, courage, trust, faith, calm, centeredness, limitlessness, acceptance, opportunity, harmony, synchronicity, serendipity, and good fortune. I welcome all these thoughts now, and they are mine. I am in control. I am the only authority in my life. I am divinely protected by the light of my being. I close off my aura and body of light to all bad luck, and I now welcome good luck into my energy field, now and always. I now know whenever any opportunity arises, I make full use of it, now and always. I claim my good, very good perfection, now and always. I now fully accept in consciousness the perfect optimization of all favorable circumstances and opportunities, or better, in my life now. I thank God for manifesting this good and this good luck in my life now, under God's grace and blessings, in God's own wise and perfect ways. Thank you, wonderful God, and so it is.
So it is.
And now, since that was so very long and delicious and beautiful, I will give a brief spiritual mind treatment for all who are listening. This word is for each one here, each one listening, and myself. There is one infinite mind, one infinite possibility, one infinite joy. It is God, the infinite spirit. Each one here is one with God, and therefore one with the goodness of God, and this goodness moves each one from good to greater good at all times and in all ways. I am knowing that this is the day that God has made, and each one is an absolute blessing to his or her life and to the lives of others. And so each one moves forward in peace and joy and love to appreciate the goodness of this day and the goodness that is in each one's heart and mind. This is the truth. It is released into God's loving law, and so it is.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marbles. Can't see the earth beneath my feet. In my head the clouds, my naked legs, my belly. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Everybody says something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul has wandered. Can't see the light that moves me. God is everything and everywhere that I belong. Spiritually wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I give my life to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Yes. Well, I just feel so much calmer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, welcome everybody who has joined us. Hello, Robert. We've got Regina, Cheryl, and Eric. Good to see you. Alan, good. Alan, great. Okay, excellent. I sent you an email, Alan. I don't know if that's still your email address, but anyway. All right, so we've been working with this book, Spiritual Healing, by my particular spiritual teacher, Dr. Stuart Grayson. So inspired by it. There's been a rush of people trying to get the books, which
What a great book.
I know. If they're out of print, that's another whole story, but you can get it, although the price is going up in all the used books and other little whatever. So, but I'm giving you all the best of it. And in fact, as I read this book, I'm like, no wonder I say what I say, because it's like every word is out of this. He taught me well. And to him, I give credit for my awakening to spiritual truth. Which brings us to our topic. The two little I's, innocence and ignorance. Now, I made them up, the two little I's, because Dr. Stuart Grayson has the three R's, which we talked about last week: resistance, rejection, and rebellion. And the week before, I talked about the three L's, which are beliefs in lack, loss, and limitation. And he said that these beliefs in lack, loss, and limitation, along with our unconscious resistance and rejection and rebellion to accept our greater good, keep us trapped in a miserable life. And we do spiritual mind treatment sort of as a rotor-rooter to clear us all out. And I realized, again, with the wisdom Dr. Grayson talks about, he refers to innocence and ignorance, but the person who really brings it forward is Emma Curtis Hopkins, as in, it's a bad thing, or we don't want to be innocent or ignorant. Now, here's why. Lots we need to understand about this. Big topic. The spiritual law of creation, the law of cause and effect, the science of mind that we study, the use of spiritual mind treatment to direct the law, to change what we believe. That law creates according to our beliefs. It's neutral in its operation, like all other laws, impartial. It doesn't take into account our extenuating circumstances. What you believe gets created. It can seem harsh, mean, unfair, unjust, but it's a law, and that's the nature of laws. Laws operate without your emotional opinion about it. Let's go right to gravity. The most loving, sweet, kind, gentle saint of all time must obey the law of gravity. You can believe with every fiber of your being that every once in a while, very rarely, you will be happy to know, as I'm driving my car, I feel like I'm just such in the flow, and that if I really trusted that the divine loving presence guides me, that I really don't need my eyes to see, and that I could close them, and the divine loving presence will guide my car beautifully. I have not actually tested this theory, because I'm not that ignorant. And so what we need to understand about a law is it's not a mean law, it's not a nasty law, it's not out to get us. It doesn't think of us personally. It doesn't think, oh, that one, or, oh no, this one is an angel, let's give extra blessings to this one. The law side of the divine doesn't do that. It just does what it does. In fact, it has no perceptive, conscious thought. You believe it is. You believe it is. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Now, we do have that love side of the law, which guides us into things that are very important, and we cannot blame the law for acting impartially, because we've got the love side that is partial and that does take into account to a certain extent. However, there's this law of creation that's at work. We obey all other scientific laws, all other physical laws. We even sometimes obey human laws. And our lives work when we understand laws and use them. And we've noticed some laws of aerodynamics and driving laws, water laws. You know, people who have studied these things and worked with them have discovered wonderful inventions that we like to use when the physical laws have been understood. So we need to understand how law works. And the law works very, very simply. What you are thinking, which is also what you are believing is a thought, is what gets created in your world. Case closed. That's it. I don't want to say tough toenails, but TT. We don't like it. So what? It doesn't change it. I personally have spent a great deal of my life arguing with the law and trying to get it to work my way. I have not been able to do this. I want to share. Again, that resistance, rejection, and rebellion, just, and the way I was raised, because I was raised under a very authoritative kind of background where the law was what the adults said and I better obey or else. So their laws were, I got to do what they say or else, whatever. And, but the divine law is not that law. And so we need to wake up and realize that this law exists and that it is done unto us as we believe, and we can change our beliefs and something else will be done unto us. Very, very simple. What's our problem? Well, we don't like it, right? I want to believe what I want to believe, and I want the law to create what I want it to create. La-di-da-di-da. I've had clients, myself being one of them also, but I've had clients who have come into me saying, now look, this is what I want, blah, 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 and I don't want to change one bit. And I'm like, well, sorry, I can't work with you because that's not the way, it won't work. Go find someone else who believes it'll work and the two of you can have lots of fun, but it won't work. It won't work. It won't work. So there's this, let's call it nasty, rotten law that does unto us as we believe, whether we like it or not, care or not, or know it or not. Now, one of the big questions that human beings have is, why does God let all these horrible things happen to all these wonderful people? There's a gentleman, I think it's Rabbi Kushner, who wrote a book, why bad things happen to good people. It's because of the law. It is done unto you as you believe. And so if you are unaware of the law or unaware of what you're believing, the law doesn't take that into account. It just creates what you are believing. So let's take ignorance first. I had to look up in the dictionary, the virtual dictionary out there, the difference between innocence and ignorance, so I can understand what Emma Curtis Hopkins means by these words. So ignorance is a lack of knowledge about something. You just don't know something. But you could know it, but you don't know it. And innocence, I'm going to take the definition that in innocence, you also don't know, but you're unable to know. You're clueless without a key. We think of babies, right? The young, innocent. They believe whatever, but they're unable. I think of teenagers and young adults who are just like these emotional forces in the world, and you try to teach them how to reason and think clearly, and to have a little pause between the impact and the reaction of their emotion, and what the scientists have discovered is there's a whole part of your brain that hasn't formed yet that helps you have perspective, like frontal cortex or whatever. It's just not, it just can't. Once it gets all sewn together, then they can have that screening thing. But until it isn't, it's out there in the world. We've all been there, we've all done it. So we were innocent in a sense in that we were unable to do anything about what was going on with us. I also think about toddlers, young toddlers. One of the big things parents have issues about is potty training, right? And it's considered to be what we do is we think about our babies, our children, as just being ignorant. That you need to just give them the information of how to, you know what, in the pot, right? And what, again, the scientists have demonstrated is there's muscles down there that don't develop. And until those muscles are developed, the child is unable to control muscles that haven't developed. So here's a situation with our little toddlers running around making mistakes. They're not making mistakes. They may have the knowledge. They may not be ignorant of what needs to be done, but they're innocent in that their bodies can't do it yet. So we need to realize these things. And the reason why we need to realize this is we have a lot of innocent beings on this planet, right? I'm talking about real innocence. There is another definition of innocence, which is pure of heart. I'm not talking about that definition of innocence. Maybe in the talk we'll get around to it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because there's so much to think about here. But in this inability to become wise, it's about wisdom. Innocence and ignorance are not the divine quality of wisdom. And so there's the wisdom that is an individual choice, as in I am ignorant of something, and Karen, wake up. And for those of us in the room and out there, probably most of us now, we're primarily probably dealing with ignorance. But we don't know what we don't know. And in fact, in our book, Spiritual Mind Healing, Dr. Grayson used to talk about our loved ones that we need to forgive from our past who did rotten things to us. And what he would say is they were ignorant of what their behavior was doing. They didn't know better. They could have. The key was there, but they didn't even know they had a key. And what he always said is, if they knew better, they would have done better. But they didn't, and so they couldn't. And so that's a wonderful little phrase that helps in understanding and forgiving all those people who did rotten things to you in the past. If you knew better, you would have done better, but you didn't, so you couldn't. It's ignorance. But we can see how Emma Curtis Hopkins, exhorts us to deny the presence of ignorance in us, that we want to wake up to the truth, divine truth, with divine wisdom, which sets us free. So now innocence is a condition of the human race more, I think. And so we've got to go back to the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was a condition of innocence. They didn't know, they also were ignorant. They didn't know anything about the law, but there was no way that they could know. They were unable to know it, because it's like, imagine yourself living in a world without air. You can't even imagine. Imagine yourself living in a universe without time or space. Yeah, good luck with that one, right? So in the Garden of Eden, where we all human race people come from, we don't know what we don't know. And we don't have a clue that we don't know what we don't know. And so that's our lives. Limited, restricted, have to stay in the garden, no choices outside of what's available in the garden. And see, the thing of that innocent state is the love side of God wants more for us. And so the love side of God creates the key, gives it to a snake in the form of an apple. And that loving side of the divine sets us up to wake up that there's a whole aspect of living, which is freedom of choice and all that goes with it, available to us. And it's time to leave the innocent state and go out and face our ignorance and learn how to use this key. So this was love that took care of us in our innocence, right? We're all in the womb. There's your innocent state, you know, totally taken care of. And then boom, we're kicked out of the garden, which we think is a bad thing. But it's actually the act of being given the key to release ourselves into knowing wisdom. It's the key of wisdom. And that the law creates based upon what we believe. And so what we want is the wisdom to know, what am I believing? And the wisdom to know, and here's science of mind, the truth that sets us free. Innocence and ignorance are the denial of knowing true divine love and the truth that sets us free. So we've all been in that innocent state. We all probably are right now in some sort of state of ignorance. I can't even, if I were to give you a list of the things that I know I'm ignorant about, it just would never end. Not even to mention the things I don't know that I don't know. I know nothing about. But the opposite of innocence and ignorance is wisdom. It's a quality of the divine, and it is present within each one of us. It needs to be discovered. It needs to be unlocked. It needs to be followed, sometimes obeyed. And in that activity, right, we learn. We learn from the errors that and the mistakes that we've made. We learn our areas where we are foolish and ignorant. We learn. We get embarrassed when we learn what we did, when we realize what we did, and we're like, uh-oh. And we've got the loving side that supports us in still enjoying our life and forgiving us as we wake up. I mean, how many of us, you know, that wonderful question, how many of you would go back to high school? I rewatched Big with Tom Hanks about a week ago, right? And there he was, a 13-year-old, and he wished with some stupid little game, whatever, that he could be big, and then he turned into a 30-year-old man, and he's running around with the consciousness of a 13-year-old in the body of a 30-year-old man. And after about a month of this, he was given the key to go back to his 13-year-old body. And he had to think about this because, you know, life was pretty good as a 30-year-old. But what he realized with wisdom was he missed so many things. And so the loving side of the divine teaches us all that we need to know and is always pulling us forward to know more about our divine nature, to know more that we're not just human, that we're divine, and that there is a freedom and there are options available to us that change everything. And from an experience of misery and agony and suffering and being a victim to, oh my gosh, this is wonderful, what can I create next with all this wonderfulness? Total different experience, okay? So I still have to explain innocence because, you know, we got all these innocent beings in the world who we know suffer. And what we need to understand about them is they don't have the key to unlock that suffering on their own. And what we human beings, or in this teaching, a lot of people have concluded is it's the parents' fault, right? So I come through this life experience into my loving parents, who only could do as much as they knew in their ignorance. And I'm I got all their false beliefs. It's their fault. And if they had a better consciousness, I would have done better. That's an interesting conclusion to come up with based upon our teaching, but I don't think it's right. I think the innocence aspect of our experience has to do with our oneness. That we are one. One divine presence working through a human consciousness. And that all of us are brought through with this collective unconscious of beliefs that the whole human race has. We can't segregate it to these two parents are the cause of this innocent baby's situation. So we have a lot of experiences right out there where a child is born, quote, with birth defects or something not quite right, and someone in this teaching might think, but as parents we were treating that they're healthy and blah 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 whatever, and but it's the collective unconscious is bigger than just parents. And so we're talking about the Garden of Eden, we're talking about being clueless and not having the key. We're talking about every single being on this planet is given the humans' beliefs, not just the parents, the humans. And the law of averages is the rule in the collective unconscious. It's not specific, as in you there thought this, therefore your child is this. No, it's not that. It's not that way. All of us, all of our consciousness is creating this world, including its wars, its crazy little diseases, its mishmash of economic structures, whatever all that is. We're all contributing to that collectively in our belief system, and we're all continuing to contribute to it in our ignorance. Because I don't know what to do about the whole world. And our innocence. Like, the whole world's got nothing to do with me. Right? I guess it's all ignorance. But the thing is that we need to realize is that the whole human race has been around for thousands of years. This human race has done things out of innocence and ignorance, as well as foolishness and stupidity, as Emma would say. And we've inherited it, just like we've inherited cells and genes. The genes that we've inherited aren't our parents' genes. It's these ancestors which go back to Adam and Eve. Thank you very much. Or there's that one particular, Lucy?
That's what they call the first human that they trace back there.
Oh, I didn't know that. The first human that they've traced back, they call it's all Lucy's fault. I thought you meant Lucille Ball. I was like, Lucy, what did she have to do with me? Okay, I'll be related to her, that's fine. But also, all right, so that's better than what I was trying to go for. Okay, so apparently there was some warrior who went around and impregnated so many people on the planet that almost all of us are descendants of him. Not so nice warrior that was running around. I don't know. Where do I get this stuff? NPR, thank you so much. Okay, so what we want to understand, right, is we're here to enjoy our lives completely. We practice the science of mind. We try to get clear about this teaching. That's why we learn spiritual mind treatment, in order to improve our experience of living, as well as the experience of living of all those in our world. Simple. We know this law, it is done unto us as we believe. And so we get to work erasing our beliefs and lack, loss, and limitation. And as we practice it in our spiritual practice, we have to deal with our resistance, rejection, and rebellion. And then we've got this whole unexplained area of flotsam and jetsam, which we need to realize is a creation of the conditions or the quality, the states of mind of innocence and ignorance, and that the antidote, the only answer, is divine wisdom, the light, the wisdom. When we do spiritual mind treatment, frequently we say, let the truth be revealed. The truth sheds light where there had been these pockets of darkness, which is innocence and ignorance, right? And so as the human race realizes this more and more and embodies this more and more, it will flow into the collective unconscious, and we'll have, fewer and fewer beings coming onto the planet in those conditions of innocence. That's all. And and in the meantime, let's talk about these innocent beings. What we also want to know for them, in that infinite wisdom descending into us, is that they too are loved completely and taken care of, and that there is possible for them an experience of living their lives that they love completely. And as we know this for them, it becomes more and more probable for them. And so we don't agree with that innocent state. What we can claim for all of our innocent beings is, oh, they're in the Garden of Eden, but there is an apple. I can't give them that apple. It's not a human gift. But the loving presence will give them that apple and set them free. And I can't judge it. Their quality of life I might not want, but their quality of life can be altered for their enjoyment of that gift of life that they are given. It's a hard thing being human and realizing the yuckiness in our collective unconsciousness and what that yuckiness creates, right? And I would like to take it all on, as I'm sure all of you do too. I'm going to do treatment for the whole world. And we do have, are you doing that still? John Heron has had a couple of Saturday mornings of peace meditations, right? For the whole world, right? Is that still?
Peace for whatever you want.
Peace for whatever you want. Well, it's all the same world, whatever. And so, but for the past 100 years, I would say people in this teaching have been, and other, less ignorant, or let me say more aware spiritual beings, right, have been claiming peace for the world, peace for the world, peace for the world, peace for the world. And it's showing up. There is less violence in the world than, the rest of human history. There are more people talking about peace and agreeing about peace. We'll argue about what to do about peace, but, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. So we are having an effect on that collective unconscious. That collective unconscious has grown, so even the medical profession has gotten smarter to support us in our health. And just in indoor plumbing, I mean, my grandparents did not have that. When I used to visit them, I have experienced the outhouse. I know that one. We had a double-seater. That part I never understood. But anyway, well, I have to go. I'm sorry, can't wait for you. Whatever, gotta go. Okay, but the thing, I know way too much about that particular. I am not ignorant about that little aspect of the world, unfortunately. But the thing is that those of us who have woken up and have been calling on divine wisdom, have been affecting the collective consciousness of the world, and we have benefited from it. Bit by bit, here and there, they discover this one, they discover that one. I don't know how many commercials are out there with the new diagnoses. Every new diagnosis has initials. I'm like, what are they talking about? This one and that one. And ideas to improve the situation, to make it better, whatever. This is the activity of we, I include us, who have been claiming divine wisdom, who've been calling it down. First of all, we may have been calling it down for our own personal good, but we're not separated. The whole consciousness, we are one. And so as I improve the quality of my life, as I build my belief in spiritual truth, it flows into the soil of humanity and affects everything. And our descendants, we already have, right? How much better is my life because of this guy's work? And how much better is his life because of Ernest Holmes' work? And how much better is Ernest Holmes' life because of Gandhi and Buddha and Jesus? And so we're all benefited. And we do, right? We stand upon the shoulders. And it's so easy to stand upon the shoulders of the people who have done the work before us. But then now here we are, and we're adding our color to it, our gains, the truth that they have had revealed. As Jesus said, these things that I have done, you shall do too, and even greater things you shall do. Right? He's still waiting on that one, I'm sure. Right? I always like to say he would roll over in his grave if he had one, if he knew what we've done with all his great teaching. But at this point in time, we are using what he learned, what he discovered about wisdom and the truth that is revealed. And we are improving the quality of life for all humanity. And so the innocence of humanity is dissolving and shall continue to dissolve as more and more of us call upon divine wisdom to guide us. So innocence is erased by the collective work that each one of us does individually. How do I say that? Each one of us does our individual spiritual work, and it moves into the oneness that we are, affecting all. And that's how innocence is getting dissolved. Ignorance is our own individual work. We've got the key. We need to notice we've got a key. We need to get curious. What does this key do? And we need to use that key and all that goes with it. And then probably when we realize how much we didn't know, and now we know it, and we're all embarrassed and ashamed of what we did, we get to practice forgiveness, right? The loving presence helps us out through that. So hopefully I've explained this thing, right? Why bad things happen to good people. Why God lets all these innocent babies suffer, and why all that happens. It's 'cause the human race is waking up. And it's all of our work, not just those there where that's happening, not just those awful people in that particular country who are clueless. All of us, we are one consciousness backing up humanity. And each one of us is affecting it. Each one of us can take the blessings, the achievements of it, and can do more as we do our individual work, particularly our individual work to set us free of ignorance. subtle, that's why I did little I's for the innocence and ignorance, right? The 3 R's on the 3 L's are capitals. But those 2 little I's, they're so subtle, they're so easy to not even notice they're there, and yet it's a template through which all of us come. And we need to become aware of that template, and with the wisdom of the divine, realize we're not a victim of that template. Even that template is changing because of what we're doing spiritually. There. Okay. That's it. That's enough. So with that thought, let's move forward in our service. I need Reverend Rich to sing a great song to get me out of this. All right.
We thank you in advance for the goodness that we share. It's our faith that lets us know the truth of the Savior. We thank you from a place of perfect expectation, for with our right thought, our needs are fulfilled. In the giving is the gift, for the giver and receiver, and tithing is the key that lets our blessings flow. If we recognize the source of our bounty and abundance, we release these words of praise into the Lord. And so it is.
And so it is. So let's take a moment. I read again from Dr. Stuart Grayson's book, A Spiritual Mind Treatment, called I Take Charge of My Life. So this word is for each and every one, and I speak this word, I. It is the I am of each one. This day and every day, I live as an experience of the eternal mind that is ever revealing itself through new, fresh, and marvelously creative ideas. I express the wonderment of the universe as my ability to perceive clearly, understand spiritually, and act wisely. I take charge of my life. I choose the quality and style of my experience. I live as an example of what mind can do and what it does by means of the awakened human. Every moment of my life is filled with the rapture of an ineffable beauty. My joy in living overflows to everyone I meet. I am a moment of praise and thanksgiving to all who encounter me. I speak words of wisdom, and they are a living reality in my life. Serendipity prevails as I happen upon those persons, places, and events that bring fulfillment to my heart's desires. I live in a state of expectancy. I am ennobled, enriched, and enhanced by the power of God within me. And so it is.
Did you just pick that out, or was that, did you have that one? Does that fit the song?
That is God did that.